Hi students, Mrs. Framming here. Tonight's lesson 6.2 is on factors, prime, and composites. Our objectives are find factors, find the greatest common factors, and recognize prime and composites. I'd like you to enter factor into your keynote section of your notebook. And a factor is a number that when it's multiplied with another number, it results in a whole number or product. An example would be 2 times 6 equals 12. Both 2 and 6 are factors, and that results in a product, 12. So there are some steps for listing factors that I'd like you to jot down in your notebook. So first, always start with 1 and the number. And you can either list them as factor pairs or you can list them in the rainbow format. For step 2, you will use your divisibility chart from the previous lesson to find other factor pairs, and then you can list the factors in pairs or as a factor rainbow. So for example, the factors of 24. Well, again, we want to start with 1 and 24. You can see I'm doing the factor rainbow. And then I want to think about my rules of divisibility. So I just start with 2. 24 is even, so therefore 2 must be a factor, and its pair is 12. And then next I check 3. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 6 is divisible by 3, so therefore 3 and 8 are factors of 24. 24 is divisible by 4, so another factor pair is 4 and 6. Next I test for 5. The number 24 doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, so that doesn't work. And then I'm already back to 6 again. So you can see the factor list of 24. Now you could also list them out like so. I tend to do the factor rainbow because then I can determine if I've checked all the factors accurately. Either way works though. I'd like you to find the factors for the numbers listed below. Remember to use your divisibility chart in order to make sure you check for all of the factors possible. When you're ready to check your list, press play. Something else to keep in mind for tonight's lesson is prime and composite numbers, which you've learned about before, but just to review, prime is a number that has exactly 2 factors, 1 and the number. Composite is a number that has more than 2 factors. So looking back at the work that you just did, you can see that 13 is a prime number because the only factors were 1 and itself. The other 3 examples were composite numbers. For the problems below, decide if the number is prime or composite. Remember to use your rules of divisibility chart from the previous lesson, and then write P if the number is prime, and C if it's composite. Press play when you're ready to check your answers. Thinking about our rules of divisibility, 305 ends in a 5, so therefore it's divisible by 5. And checking for 71 in all the rules, it is prime, because none of the rules fit 71. 243, at first you might think it's prime because of 43 being odd, but if you add the digits together, you notice that you got a total of 9. So of course that number is divisible by 9. And 59 is prime as well, because no other factors divide it besides 1 and itself. Our next objective we're working on tonight is the greatest common factor, or GCF. And this will be added into your notebook in key points. And the GCF is the greatest number that is a factor for 2 or more whole numbers. GCF is useful for reducing fractions when we need to take them to lowest terms, and we can do that in one step. So this is laying the foundation for our fraction work that will be coming up soon. So the steps for finding the GCF are 1, find all the factors for each whole number, and again using our divisibility rules. 2, circle the factors that both whole numbers have in common. And the third step is the largest circled number is the GCF of those numbers. So for example, and you can put this in your math notebook, find the GCF of 16 and 20. So we list out the factors for 16. And I'm just going to use the rainbow. So it's even, so 2 and 8. And then 3 doesn't work because 1 plus 6 is 7. Testing 4, I know 4 times 4 is 16, but I'm only going to list it once. And then 5, no. 6, no. 7, no. 8 is already there, so now I'm ready to list the factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 doesn't work, 4 does, and 6, 7, 8, and 9 do not work as well, and then I'm at 10, so these are the factors for 20. Our second step is to circle all the factors that both numbers have. So of course that'd be 1, 2, 4, and that's it. Then looking at the largest number circled, it would be 4. So the GCF of 16 and 20 is 4. Now it's your turn. Find the GCF of the combination of numbers below. Press play when you're ready to check your work. And don't forget to have that rules of divisibility sheet handy. We'll practice a few more problems. So again, find the GCF of the pair or set of numbers listed below, and when you're ready to check your work, press play. Don't forget to consult that divisibility rule chart. Tonight's lesson was on factors, primes, and composites. Our objectives were find factors, find the greatest common factor, and just start to recognize prime and composite. If you need to review any part of this lesson, go ahead and do that now. And when you're ready to take the quiz at Schoology.com, head on over there. See you.